What's up? A super big heist. And hello everyone. I have my Pirates hat on this time, and I'm going to be playing Europe footage, and I really only have pictures, so this was a long time ago, like 2012 or 11 or something like that. And don't hang up, because I have a very cool story to tell you about Europe. I was in a big heist, a super big heist, and it was incredible how it went all down, and it's a pretty cool story. I mean, no one got hurt, but we all did get gassed in Europe. And I went through, during this time, I basically went through the Central Europe, and it was like my first prime time leaving America. I left by myself. I've been to the islands, you know, Caribbeans, many times, but this is pretty much America. And I went to Costa Rica with a girl, and that was definitely an experience, but it was still kind of like America. And once you go to Europe, it's quite different, because every single country, different language, different styles, different motives. Language is so strong that it embeds into our own religious aspects in life. It embeds into our own practices in life, I should say. So language is definitely very important in this world to understand and recollect of how it is. I mean, some languages sound like a song when you're talking, like French and stuff, you know, and some languages are very nasty, and you think like they're screaming at you and they're just saying hello, like Russia or something. So language is very powerful all over the world for good reasons. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about languages. I'm here to talk about Europe, my trip, and I also want to talk a little bit more about my YouTube and explain to you a lot about what's kind of going on. And I'm trying to explain a lot, but this film is going to be a little bit longer because I'm not going to shorten it so much. I want to express myself, and sorry about a couple films ago. Maybe I was sounding like maybe a baby or something, but I just not crying over something that I've been doing for 1 or 2 months. I've been doing it for years, and that was why I kind of said that. But you know what? Videos and channels like this should describe people's emotions and not just be this fake realm all the time, you know, because this isn't real life, you know. So I went to Europe, and I visited England first. I went to Germany, Belgium, Poland, Czech Republic, and this is where the heist happened. I went to Austria, Switzerland, Italy, and France, all in 1 month's time. And I was running around so much. It was like the first time I really got involved with hostels and kind of the whole backpacking theme, and I didn't know nothing about this. I studied for many months and long time. Now it's so easy to go on the internet and look at Agoda or Booking.com or Hostel World, all these places that offer cheap prices. It's so easily available on the internet at your fingertips on your cell phone. As to 10 years ago, well, it was kind of like that, but not as easy. And anyways, I went and got a whole new ball game of how my travels began, how I started exploring the world. I will mention one thing, that when I went to Europe in 1 month's time, I learned more in 1 month than I did my whole entire school year in the United States. When you go to Europe, it's quite different. Not only is the languages different and all this, and the people, the styles, the motives, all this behind the countries that you're visiting. What's so different is Europe is very small. It's not big at all. It's like a third of a United States, just the mainland, not even counting Alaska. So it's quite small. It might be a half or something, but regardless, man, you got all these more cities and more museums and everything just compiled up in such a small space. And when you go to these museums, most museums tell the truth. You'll be surprised what you can learn at museums. And every single day I was going to museums, and then they would have free tours. I didn't even know about this. They would have free tours. They were called donation tours, and they will walk people around the city or even talk to you in museums and spend 2 or 3 hours with you. And in a group of people, you would set it up either at the hostel or an online basis type deal. And like I said, I didn't know anything about this. I had my whole entire Europe trip planned out day by day, but everything got ruined once you backpack, because when you backpack, you're with the people. You are ingested inside the people's minds and bodies the whole entire time. Not only are you sleeping next to the people, you're hanging out with them, you're eating breakfast, you're waiting for phone calls, you're waiting for internet to click on. Everything is, you are together, you know? Everyone gets to in groups. This is why hostels, I want to also talk about this too. I have so much to talk about. It's so astronomically hard to fit all this stuff I want to explain into a little 5-10 minute video. So, like I said, just be warned, it's going to be a little bit longer because I got so much on my mind. I just want to kind of get it off my chest right now. And anyways, hostels are amazing. Once you start learning about the hostels and learning how to do all this of what the backpackers realm does, you really start to really travel. Not only are you eating at the best restaurants, not the #1 restaurants that advertise the most, but the real authentic food in these countries. There is some little restaurant in a back alley where you think you're going to get mugged and robbed. They're typically the best restaurants in the cities. And I think everyone can vouch for that for me. And anyways, to know this, you have to know a lot of people, and a lot of people talk, a lot of people read books, a lot of people have already traveled, so they kind of have already established this routine of what to do in hostels and where to go. Take, for example, you go to a hotel, they don't tell you nothing. They expect like, oh, you're on vacation, you don't want to be bothered. That's kind of like the hotel thinking. And when you go to a hotel, it's nothing but boring. Most people don't want to talk to each other. Okay, even by pools and stuff, maybe sometimes you get somebody, but it's night and day different compared to a hostel. A hostel, you feel safe. #1, because people want to stay together. Like I say, not only do you sleep together, I mean, you can't get private room, but private rooms in hostels are very expensive, typically more than hotels. But when the people get together, they're looking after each other's stuff. They are talking to each other about where to go, what to do, and also they're wanting to do things with each other. So almost 98% of the time, you're never bored in a hostel. Even I went to hostels where nobody was in there, and the manager would take off lunch or something and bring me around town. This has happened many times. In hotels, this would never ever happen. So hostels are always more adaptable to traveling, and also they're cheap. Like I told you last time in my film, they're only like $6 on average, and this usually includes free breakfast, and also you have all these guides and things that's going on in the city, and it's all kid activities and entertainment. So hostels are always throwing parties at nighttime and throwing just amazing quality life of traveling. So many travelers travel just to work at hostels. This is how amazing they are. You never ever hear anyone traveling working at the Hilton or something. No one cares about the hotels, but hostels people want to work at, and people choose certain cities and countries just to work in these certain hostels. And hostels are huge. They have huge chains like Hilton's and whatever else, the Holiday Inn. And so I want to go back to that. I will get back to my Europe trip here in a second. I kind of just want to explain to you what's kind of going on. And I really just want to tell you this because it's been on my mind so much. So I'm working like crazy. Like this is like a full-time job. Literally, I don't see how like people like Nos Daily and all this can even call themselves a backpacker. They are not a backpacker at all. And you cannot consider yourself a backpacker. I'm a true backpacker, and I'm not trying to take any more side than someone else's. But to express myself enough of how much I've traveled, visited places, done all this stuff, and then tried to keep up on my editing, films, and all this is almost impossible. It's just almost impossible. So, back to my travels and my YouTube, and I just kind of want to talk a little bit more about this because 5 minutes is not enough time. And for me to go on my trips and go to museums and visit and go eat food and sleep and move here, walk here, do this, do that is so incredibly hard to keep up just the uploading on your phone, let alone trying to download everything, make films, edit, learn how to do all this stuff at the same time. I've been an advocate for pictures, really. I love photography, and this is why generally most of my films have a lot of pictures, and most of my old films, or back in the day, most of my old footage is nothing primarily but pictures. So you might see a lot more of this coming up in the future. I'm hoping that my team kind of gets together and we're going to make some music and do things, because I've done a lot of things in America. Went to every single state except Alaska and Hawaii. This is very impressive. I went through every single city in Florida, working at a job, putting in weight equipment in colleges and even Navy sites and stuff like this all around Florida, and multiple other gyms. I did this for many years, and I visited every single city in Florida. This is incredible to say. So back to my footage, I have lots of pictures. I don't have a lot of footage, and I had a lot of footage in Europe, but the heist happened. So this is what happened in the heist. I'm traveling from Poland to Czech Republic, and the guy from the hostel in Poland, by the way, Poland was the #1 country I went to in Europe. It was the people were absolutely amazing. I would compare the people almost to Vietnam, but the people in Vietnam is just way different from the rest of the world. They're incredible. That's the #1 country. But anyways, Poland was my #1 country in Europe, and I loved it. People helped me like crazy. I'll tell you a little quick story of how helpful they were. I was on a train, and basically it was very hard to read. The language there's no English at all in Poland, so you talk to the people on the train, hopefully try to find somebody that knows English. Hey, do you know where this is at, the area? Like I said, everything is much easier now. You just go on Google Maps or maps.me and bam, you're already there. But in 2012, this wasn't happening. It might have, but I didn't have $5,000 for a cell phone then. And anyways, I was on the train, and I asked the girl next to me, because there was a guy next to her, and he had his headphones on, and he was like messing with his computer. I asked the girl, hey, do you know this area? And she said, yeah, me and my mom can take you there. And I said, oh, wow, how nice. But this happened almost every single time in Poland. You ask somebody, they would bring you there. It didn't matter if it was 5 kilometers. I've walked with people, and they brought me there. The people are amazing. Anyways, I'm talking to the girl, and the guy gets up when the train stops, and he starts talking to her, and I kind of figured out what they were saying. Like basically he was saying, hey, I will take him, you and your mom can go your own way. This is the gestures, the manners of the people there. They're so respectful towards the elderly and the women and stuff. Amazing people. Anyways, the guy, took me, but he didn't know that much English, just a little bit. And we were walking, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? And he kept on asking me for my bag. And I was carrying around a lot of stuff then, as I always do on all my travels. I don't know why. It's like I bring my house with me. But the guy kept on asking me like 3 times. So I give him my dirty laundry bag. It was like a full backpack full of dirty laundry. because it's winter time when I went there, so I couldn't wash clothes or nothing. And I gave him my dirty laundry bag, and I asked the guy, I said, so what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I have a meeting. I said, a meeting? Oh, wow, okay, well, what kind of meeting is it? And he said, oh, I'm an attorney. And I said, what? I stopped in my footsteps. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, what? He's like, oh, maybe you guys call it lawyer, right? And I was like, no, you had it right the first time, attorney. I understood completely what an attorney is. And just to let you know, you're carrying my dirty laundry bag, and this would never happen in America at all. Zero. They won't even talk to you unless you give them money. Like, you're crazy. This is just one story in Poland. Anyways, when I left Poland to go to Prague, Czech Republic, the hostel guy told me, hey, do not fall asleep on the train. It was a long train ride, like a 12-hour train ride. I said, okay, I won't fall asleep. He said, people have been getting robbed on there. And I could have swore I didn't fall asleep. But I did fall asleep. And I woke up, and the guy next to me, there was a guy next to me, and we were talking and become friends and everything, and he bought a brand new Apple iPad and all this other stuff. I had a brand new Canon, big camera Canon. I had all this stuff, computers, everything. Both of our stuff gone. When I woke up, I felt my bag. I rose up because I had my bag locked. All my bags were locked. And I had a wire, like a chain wire, little thin piece to wrap around my belt loop into my bags and everything, just so no one would run off with it, right? Correct? Anyways, I get out of the train compartment, and everyone's acting chaotic, crazy, like screaming, oh, where's my stuff? And I was like, wow, what's going on? You know, like, and anyways, I was shocked, and I'm kind of young at this time. I didn't know what was going on at all. I was very highly confused, and everyone screaming, yelling, and all this stuff. So we all basically went to the police station together. And it was probably about 30 or 40 of us, if I can remember. And I didn't take a picture or nothing because all of our stuff was stolen. And I'm standing there listening to everyone's stories, waiting for us to kind of approach the police and talk to them. And man, the stories that I was hearing, people was literally like sleeping, their bag was under their butt and they were like sitting on their bag sleeping, or their bag was here and they were sleeping like this on their, with the bag between their legs and arms, or they had locks on it and all this stuff. And every single bag was taken and put directly back in its original place. So take this for example. If you're sitting on your backpack, sitting on it, they would take your stuff out of your backpack and put it back into under your seat or under your butt. And wow, you're thinking right now, right? What's going on, huh? What could it be? So I didn't find out for years later until I met somebody else in Asia. The first time I went to Asia, and he told me, he said, you know what it was? He said, you got gassed. And I said, bam, man, that is correct. Because all the time you're talking about stories, and like even in my last film, I did mention that things do happen, but this is ironic. Like, this is a heist, you know, like the people stole hundreds of thousands of dollars of stuff, but never took anyone's credit cards or any identification, nothing. Just jewelry and electronics was the biggest thing. But just between me and my guy next to us, he got us for $10,000. $10,000 just between me and him. Because I had $2,000 in cash for emergency. It was even in a hidden, slid open my backpack and hid the money inside the sleeve. They found it. Like, how do you find this? And all my iPod, my cell phone, my laptop, my big camera I just bought, that was $1,200 brand new. All this stuff gone. He bought his brand new iPad, which was like $1,500 at that time, and his brand new iPhone and all this stuff. He had like $7,000 gone. And just hearing all these stories is crazy. And then bam, when this guy told me, you got gassed, and I was like, man, that is absolutely correct. That's the only way that this could happen. No way that somebody can put everyone asleep. It's not like we're in a restaurant where you can give somebody a pill or something. You know, we were all in separate compartments. No one knew each other. Nothing like this. We're on just a normal train. And anyways, the story ends like this. I was fixing to burn down the police station. I was so mad because I asked the policeman just one question. I said, how often does this happen? And he said, oh, quite often. I was like, what? Oh, man. It almost ruined my trip in Europe. I was mad for many days. But talking to people, and they, just most of them would just try to cheer you up. And you would hear a lot of other people's stories. Many stories. People getting robbed and losing bags and lots of pocket thieves. And you hear all these stories, and you know what? Hey, at least I wasn't in America and I didn't get shot from my stuff. You can think of positive about things, and I have a pretty cool story behind it, and it was the truth. So regardless, I lost many of my videos and pictures, but I did try to upload every single time to my computer, which was kind of backed up on my iCloud. So I did lose some footage, but most of it I got. Anyways, I have lots of footage, hundreds of videos already, and hundreds of these videos will be redone because I said, like before, I was on GoPro, trying to hurry up on my travels, trying not to stress out a lot with this because it's a lot of work. Let me tell you how much work is involved in YouTube playing. I know I kind of explain a little bit in my movie making of how things are, but like, if you're just normal like me, okay? I'm a normal person. I'm advertising on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like this. And I've been doing it now for 4 years. I would say for a solid 2 years, I've been hardcore about it. And I have 700 subscribers. Not even 700, okay? I talk to other people. Almost everyone says, you have to promote. You have to pay YouTube. You have to pay Facebook. And we already know how much Facebook is against me. Or, for my truth telling. And they don't like this. You can't say the truth anymore on the internet at all. So many of my accounts I kind of put on private and stuff before if you do pay attention to me. And I just want to thank you for the people that do support me because you guys have been hardcore supporters for me and I really appreciate this. But if you don't promote, you're a no one like me. And I should have somewhere between more views and more subscribers with 300 videos. Or at least you would think. But I'm hoping it will become like this, and I'm hoping that I'm going to really start editing, and my team will start coming together more, and I will try to eventually do all my pictures. Like I said, I made so many pictures before, and I'm hoping one of my team members will be very creative, putting music and things like this together and make kind of a picture colleague movie type deal. But as for the past 5 years, I have all this footage saved 3 different times, iCloud, computer, and backup disk, hard disk. Make sure you always have 3 because no matter what, hard disk always break. And even I've had my Google Drive crash on me once before. Now I have iCloud, but anyways, it happens. So make sure you have at least 3 different backups. You never know what will happen. And I kept all my footage. I have it. I'm ready to disperse it. I'm ready for people to view my content because I've lived this extraordinary life of no fear traveling, going around to these villages with no fear. If someone says, hey, you want to sleep in my house? I say, where do I put my bag? No fear. Because I feel the village people are some of the best people in the world. Yes, they will steal from you. And yes, they could hurt you possibly. You have to be smart about things. But I wasn't like sleeping at a place in a village and then walking away for 10 kilometers and coming back, you know? Then someone might steal your stuff. You never know. But sleeping overnight, keep my bag under my head, nothing ever happened. Never. And even if it did, it's just stuff. Buy it again. And I feel like, at least I think that if somebody steals something from you, then they probably need it more than you. Some don't. Of course, some will use it for drugs or whatever. But in countries like Asia and stuff, or continents like Asia and countries in Asia, that these people are truly poor. And even the panhandlers and the bums and the homeless, whatever you want to call them, on the streets, these people, most of them, have absolutely never touched alcohol in their life or drugs. They are just truly homeless people. You have different classes in India, and you have mafia gangs in Cambodia and Vietnam, Indonesia, everywhere, all over the world, really. But these people literally cut off kids' arms so that they can tie a bucket around their neck with a note saying, hey, well, can you support me? You know, I have no arms. And you can see both of their arms are clean cut. They do this on purpose so that the kids can't take the money, and basically you're in the mafia for the rest of your life. This is how it is, you know, and this is the reality of it too. So even when you look at things like this, even these people, you can't even really give the money to them, because the money doesn't go to the people. The money goes to the mafia. So anytime people would ask me for money, usually I would buy food or ask them to come to the store with me, and they can pick out what they want, and I would buy it for them. No, I didn't film any of this. I think it's very nasty to film about this stuff. I can't believe this is what kind of upsets me. People film this kind of stuff and get 1 million views and shit. This is disgusting. Like, why? Just out of your normal heart, just give it to the people, you know? Like, why you have to film and try to make all this big commotion? There's homeless people all over the world. It's not like just one little section. Anyways, I don't know what's going to play on the screen, but it would be something cool, because I'm pretty sure I don't have this amount of time to broadcast all of my European pictures. And most people have already seen the pictures of Europe and kind of already understand what it is. I just kind of want to give something in the background, because again, I kind of like the green screen, what's going on. It's better than me just sitting in front of the TV or something and you just looking at just me. That's my personal belief, but please let me know. And also please let me know that some people that support me are telling me that you need to have a style. Oh, okay, I need to have a style. What kind of style is this? I ask, and they, oh, you just need a style. So, okay, I put the hat on tonight, or today. But I want some comments and some feedback from everyone. I mean, do you like the green screen? Do you like what's going on? I know that I've had a lot of feedback on my introduction videos and stuff, and I think they're amazing. But I also need some feedback of what's kind of going on. And I'm trying to complete all my stuff. It's soon almost done. I have a couple little things to do here and there. But I want to complete everything. Because I want my team to be ready to try to make my films better. Make music in the pictures. And start doing all this stuff. And again, I will keep editing also. But I'm not a professional, but I think I'm decent enough, and feedback and comments would definitely be helpful and very appreciative. I really appreciate everyone that is sharing my content now, and I really want to hit the 10,000 subscribers mark, even though you only need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time to be monetized. But I feel like I can easily hit 10,000 subscribers. Share my footage, share out what's going on out there, and I promise you, at least by 2 weeks, I will start uploading more and more films of my travels, explaining a lot more as to before I didn't really explain how much hostels cost, I didn't explain the food, I didn't explain none of this, but now I have time, I have pictures and I have footage, and I want to explain all this. Sorry again for how much I am talking, because I like to talk and also I like people to have the information, because I feel this is life. Without no information, we have no future. So with the information, we have something to look forward to. And many people in this world, or especially in America, are scared of hostels or have no idea of how to even travel or even think about traveling, because all they think about money, 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 money. But when you think, mostly all my travels, I would only spend $25 a day on average. And this included airplane tickets, hostels, food, bar, drinking, extra items. Also stuff like if I needed to buy a GoPro or something, I would save up money and buy it. It was generally about 25 bucks a day is on average. Really, you can go to Southeast Asia and you can spend easily $10 or $15 a day if you want to. It could be that cheap. I mean, there are hostels out there for $1 or $2. There are people that camp. There are people that share rooms. Sometimes you find a cheap room or something far out of town for $10 and people share. It's $5 each. Or $8, I mean, and it's $4 each or something like this, you know, and the prices can vary in each country and all this. But I want to explain all this, and I want people to acknowledge that you can travel. Not just travel. You can work and travel. There's programs like you can look up Workaway, workaway.com. Look it up. And you can find these places where they will pay you to come volunteer at their business, like at a hostel, and you can be like the bartender or something, or write people in to their rooms. Very easy work, and you'll work like 6 hours a day, and they give you free food and a free place to stay. They don't really pay you, but if you have a little bit of extra money, even most of your hostels will pay you free beer and stuff just to keep the people around the hostel, to keep them drinking at the hostel. So the hostels makes more money that way. I mean, there's many ways that this world can be so easy in traveling and be so much fun, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Quit thinking it does, because it doesn't. Even though it is COVID right now, which is horrible, prices still haven't been jacked up. As like in America, prices are going up very high. So anyways, thank you again, and I think I'm going to hang up now. I have much more to talk about, a lot about my travels, a lot about what's going on with my promoting myself and promoting my channel to become much bigger. And please share, please subscribe, and please click the bell icon, because you will be notified very soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.